Good morning, everyone. It is lovely to see you all this morning. I hope you've all had a really good week, and I'm really looking forward to worshipping with you today. So let's start with a prayer together. Dear God, thank you that you are a God we can know, and you're with me here and everywhere I go. Amen. Now, can you remember what we've already looked at on Summer Sunday School so far? There's been loads, haven't there? This is our 5th week, so there's 4 weeks. Can you remember? We've looked at how we're all together as one church, how we're motivated to be a good Christian by what Jesus teaches us, that we have to keep our eyes on Jesus, and that Jesus is with us to help us all of the time. What a lot of things we can learn from the Olympics and from the Bible. Amazing. And today we're going to be looking at working together in a team. But first of all, we're going to play a game. So since we're looking at Jericho, our game this week is a little bit based on that. So can you find your way through this maze in a minute? Off you go. Okay, did you manage it? I'm terrible with mazes. Apparently, if you work at the end and go back to the start, that works better. Now, today, like I said, we're going to be looking at Jericho and the story of Joshua. But there are loads of Bible stories about how people work together well in the Bible, because it's something we need to do as Christians all the time. But have a little look at this video and see what happens in the story of Joshua.
The Faithful Hall of Fame, Joshua. This is Joshua.
Oh, hey.
Joshua was the leader of the Israelites, who God used to bring his people to the Promised Land.
Yeah, let's do it.
When God told Joshua it was time to take the Promised Land, Joshua sent spies into the city of Jericho. While those spies were in Jericho,
Come on!
they were protected by a woman named Rahab. The spies promised to spare Rahab and her family when they took back the land.
Yay!
And she hung a scarlet cord from her window to remind them of their promise.
See you soon!
Now the Israelites had crossed the Jordan and were camped near the town of Jericho.
Hey!
Hello.
One day, Joshua looked up,
Huh?
and there was a man standing before him.
Hello.
The man said, "I am the commander of the army of the Lord." Joshua asked what the man wanted to tell him, and the Lord said he wanted Joshua to take the city of Jericho,
All right.
but that Joshua needed to follow his instructions exactly.
You got it.
Jericho was shut for fear of the Israelites.
And went home? Yeah, well.
No one came out and no one came in. So the Lord told Joshua to gather his soldiers and march around the city for 6 days.
Mark.
The priests were to take the Ark of the Covenant, and 7 priests were to go in front of it, blowing a ram's horn. On the 7th day, they were to march around the city 7 times and blow the horn. Then all the people of Israel were to give a great shout,
Then what?
and then the city walls would fall.
Whoa! Yeah, let's do it.
So Joshua said, Shout, for the Lord has given you the city. And the people did shout. And the walls did fall.
Let's go!
The Israelites overtook the city of Jericho as God had commanded.
Rahab!
They remembered Rahab because of her faithfulness. Joshua was faithful in carrying out God's commands, and the Israelites took many other cities as God told them they would.
Oh, nice!
For God will never fail to fulfill his promises. So the Israelites came to live in the land that God had promised Abraham, Isaac, Israel, Joseph, and Moses many years ago.
Okay, so when do you work as a team then? Do you play team sports? Do you play in a music ensemble or work in a different team at school? Well, this here shows us that we need to work together in a team, just like you might do in any of these Olympic sports, like in hockey or football or bench ball or handball. All of these things you need to work in as a team. And even if they're a solo event, like horse riding, and there's only you doing it, or shot put, there's a whole team of people around them, just like in our story of Joshua. Joshua couldn't have brought down the walls of Jericho on his own, being the leader. He needed to have his army with him to help him walk around those walls. And the army couldn't have done it without a leader in Joshua. And none of them could have done it without having God on their team as well. So we've got to remember then, especially going back to school, that we need to work together as a team, whether that's a team in Sunday school doing something, or whether that's a team in sports, or whether that's a team in school. We need to be working together well as a team. And we always need to remember that we've got God on our side as well. I wonder then, what do we need to make a good team? In hockey, when we've been looking at that on the Olympics, what do they need to have a good team? Can you make a list of things that you think you might need to make a good team? Maybe things like, in a good team, people aren't jealous of other people. That can be a really hard thing, can't it? If you think they're a better striker than me in football or a better goal scorer in hockey, but you are in defence, you're still really part of that team, really important part. Maybe you should look out for other members of your team. If somebody doesn't seem very happy or so upset about something, it's not just about the activity you're doing. It's not just about playing in the band and playing your part. It's about working together and looking after people. And maybe about putting other people first as well in a team, rather than you scoring all the goals or getting all of the nets in netball. Maybe it's giving somebody else a chance as well and building them up. Okay. Can you do this craft for me then, or rather a little bit of an activity for you to do? I would like you to build a wall and knock it down. Okay, so you can make it out of stones in your back garden. Maybe you can make it out of Lego bricks or even books. Can you build a wall and can you knock it down? And then see if you can do it quicker with a team. See if you can get a friend or a family member to help you build it. Does it go quicker? What are you talking about when you're building it? How do you build your team while you're building that wall? Let me know how it goes. Now, before I pass over to Ed, we're gonna have a prayer together, and then you're gonna get your activity. So, dear God, thank you that you give us so many lessons in the Bible that we can learn, like about Joshua working with his team in the army in Jericho with your help. Thank you for always being on our team and helping us out. And thank you as well that we can learn about you through things around us, like the Olympics over this holiday, that it can teach us messages about you and your love for us. Amen. Amen. Now, over to Ed. Good luck and thanks, Ed.
Hello again. We're getting near the end of the holidays, but the challenges are still there. So, this week, we've been talking about hockey. Hockey pucks. I don't know if you've seen them, maybe when watching on the telly. But they're circular. About, I don't know, this big. I want you this week, your challenge this week, is to make a piece of circle out of a paper and find something that you can waft it with. I don't know, if you've got a newspaper in your house, something like that. And see how quickly you can get it from one end of the room all the way to the other. And again, if you've got two of them, if there's two of you, maybe challenge an adult, maybe challenge a brother or sister if you've got one, or a friend. Have races. Who can get theirs from one end of the room to the other the quickest? Have fun, enjoy, keep enjoying your holidays. I know they're nearly over and school's on its way, but enjoy and see you soon. Bye bye.